Okay, our topic for the psychology unit was successful coaching techniques. What is the main role of a coach? What do you guys think is the main role? You, sir. You, ma'am. Cool. Okay, many of us think that the main role of a coach is to train, educate, and prepare the athlete for a game. But that isn't all. The responsibilities of a coach go further beyond what we see as athletes, friends, and audience. The main role of a coach is to bring the player to their full potential. Top End Sports Network. To psychologically as well as physically prepare and train the athlete for games by introducing as well as enhancing their skills, techniques, and movements. Failure to mentally prepare athletes have led to an increased chance in failure, increased chance of injuries as well as increased chance of having difficulties handling techniques and plays, as well as decreased confidence. Confidence being the most important thing for an athlete to have, because without confidence, they are likely to break down in the middle of a game, they are to feel insecure and just totally unable to do anything really. They can have emotional fatigue as well as stress from physically trying so hard to complete the play. By overworking the brain, they will give themselves minor headaches. A coach is not just a coach, but a family, friend, psychologist, advisor, mentor, idol, a motivator, but mainly, he is a master of the arts in sports. Everything a coach does is done to help further excel the athlete's position, career, as well as activity. A coach is thought of as the main brain of the team. He helps coach the team to become more athletic as well as more efficient and more on the spot, really well thought out, as well as he plays out, makes game plans, positions, and plays. And yeah, there are really 9 mental skills an athlete must have to be successful. It is concentration, managing emotions, managing anxiety, mental imagery, self-task, people skills, goals and commitment, as well as motivation and attitude.
Still recording.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys about coaching styles, and we're going to start off with a coaching philosophy from the United States Sports Academy, America's Sport University. And it is, a coaching philosophy is the foundation of a coach's style and consists of a mixture of the coach's personal beliefs, goals, objectives, and standards. So basically what this is saying is there is no set universal mold that a coach has to fit in order to be successful. It's always going to be a mixture of different styles, different techniques, and it has to depend on the players whether or not it turns out to be successful. So I'm going to split the coaching styles into 3 of them: command, submissive, and cooperative. Command style is where the coach is a dictator and he or she makes all the decisions and the player's job is to follow the rules. And the advantages of this is that there's a fast initial response. The players are given something to do and so they have to do it. So there's not much thinking, there's not much confusion. And it also keeps younger players especially on task. It gives them something to do and no idle time. The disadvantages, however, is that athletes may do what they're asked to, but they won't understand why. So it's simply you ask, I'll do, but I don't know why you're making me do this or how I'm supposed to do it properly. And then there's also the fact that the coach may seem as though they're mean or it makes them seem unapproachable. And the players become dependent on instruction from the coach, so they won't be able to come up with anything on their own. Instead, they look towards their coach to tell them what to do. And then there's submissive coaching, which is where the coach makes few decisions and most of it is up to the players. So they're basically coaching themselves, and the coach plays the role of a babysitter where the coach is only there for supervision, and they may pull out the equipment and then the players do what they want to do. They run whatever drills they want to do, and whatever they do, it's themselves. There's little to no cooperation with the coach, and that's the submissive style. And obviously the disadvantage is that the players don't really have any feedback from a coach, which is basically the point of a coach, is to be there to help, where a submissive coach isn't really going to do anything for them, and there is not going to be any long-term gain for the team. And then there's cooperative coaching, where it allows the athletes to have a voice while the coach maintains the role of leadership. And this takes into consideration the athlete's learning style, so the coach tailors his program for the athletes to make sure that they're learning, they're happy, they know what they're doing, but at the same time, they're building their skill level. And the advantages of this is that the students are more involved and they feel like they're a part of the team instead of just a bunch of players who are being dictated to. There's a better coach-player relationship, and it's easier for the player to go talk to the coach if they need anything. The coach seems more approachable, and it's just a better environment for the players. And then there's the concept of old school versus new school coaching techniques. Old school coaching is basically how there's punish first, explain later. There's the athletes fear failure. There's short-term respect, technical skills but not tactical. And there's coaches intimidation, demeaning motivation, and there's no coach-player relationship. And this is what most coaches based their technique on a couple years back, because, you know, old school techniques. This is where the coach delegates what they want the players to do, and if you do it, fine, you get praised, and if you don't, you get put down. And this has a negative effect on the players because they're in constant fear of their coach and fear of their outcome, and in that kind of a state, they can't really do what they want to do. They don't have the freedom to play how they want to play or ask questions if they don't know what they're trying to do. And opposed to that is a new school coaching technique where there's positive coach-player relations. It's stern, but it's not offensive, so it gives the players direction without being offensive. And there's more communication between everyone. There's appreciation and praise, and the coach leads by example and encourages. So this basically means that the coach needs to have more of a base in the sport, so they can help instead of just delegate, so they can show how to play the sport. And this is a video. There's no video. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the skill well chart, and this is basically where you have either low will or high will, low skill or high skill. So let's say you have low will and low skill players. What the coach would have to do is direct. They would have to provide clear briefing, identify motives, and develop visions of success. So this is basically where the coach is going to tell the players what to do, how to do it, and help motivate. And then one up is low skill but high will, is reduce obstacles and constraints. So these are players who are really, really motivated and they really want to play this game, but they may or may not have the skills necessary. And then we have high skill, low will, where you have to excite and try to motivate. And these are players who are very good at the game they're playing, but they just lack the motivation to maybe come to practices or try their best. And then, of course, the ideal situation is high skill, high will, where the coach has the authority to provide more freedom to the players, to give them more option in what they're doing, because the coach knows that they do have the skill and they also have the will. And this is what most professional teams, their players usually have the high will, high skill category.
Okay, so these are my notes. I'm not texting. So coaches are given the opportunity to see their seats flourish and see the people who they're coaching really shine through with their skills and techniques. And so coaches, they aren't just the person who's yelling or who's trying to make it look like that's the way the play is supposed to go and to follow through like that. But they're the ones who are nurturing that seed. And so it's very important that
If any of the following students are in the building, please come to guidance. Harsh Havari, Jenazek Bakhali, Astheja Shah, Heaven Shen, Sharanya Belendran, Thusisha Kobe.